All right, I'm back. So, yeah, dumb mistake from my side, I guess. It's just how it is. Sorry, I couldn't show you the whole debugging. I didn't want to bore you forever. So I think I found out what the problem is. I haven't tried to change it yet, but let's see. So maybe you can learn something from this as the way I changed it. So I just tried a few things, and what I did was I made a browser function here. That just means that it stops the app when this line is going to be run, and then you can on the console you can like say, okay, what is the values of file names or something like this, right? And it told me that all the inputs were there. So the real problem is just that this observer isn't firing anytime because this data it comes in, RV file names, like it's loaded by this module, and then it doesn't see that as a change. It will only do the change if we like upload some new data, right, or something is deleted from this. So so what we really want to do is we don't actually we're just gonna what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch this out with an UI output. So this is just like a promise for an output. And I'm gonna call this the select UI. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy it over here, the one I just deleted from up here. And I'm gonna change this from an update. I'm just gonna change it to a renderer, right? So the output of select UI is render UI. Zip, and we're gonna take you in here like that, and then we say you are RV file names. Great. So what I did here is just I'm making a dynamic UI component up here, and I'm rendering it down here. So that means when the server loads, the server function loads, we already have the file names. I mean, I should have done this from the start, really. I usually do it from this way. Just to be continuity with the previous way I did it. I just did it like that. We're gonna be doing it like this now from now on. So I render the UI, the selection, and I have the RV file names right here. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna remove this browser so it doesn't stop the data, or sorry, the app from running. I'm gonna run. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Edit data. There we are. We had a little bit of red right there, but okay. So here we go. I can choose all the data, and I have this cross. Zip. Alrighty. I'm just gonna keep this for now. I'll figure out later what to do. So what I want to do now is that I can choose this and say delete, or maybe I wanted like a delete button on here or something. I'm not really sure, but at least I have these. I can see the data now. I can see I have these 28 rows here. I think it looks good enough. So now I want to make some deletions, right? So I'm gonna make some changes to my code. It really is just much easier to edit data if it's in a reactive values list. So I'm actually going to change this to a reactive values list. So I can't call it RV now. I'm just going to call it data, RV data, just do something. No, it's not a function. It's a reactive values. Could call it a reactive value. Let's just do this. Data frame. Select the data. Selected is null here. I'm gonna move this. So now instead of having it as a reactive here, I'm just gonna have it as a reactive values. So I need to assign it. So I'm gonna make an observer. Input. What's it called? Data select. Input data select. So when we change the data select here, we want the selected RV here to change as well. So we're going to say RV data df. Now selected is now. And then we're going to read the data in. Did I delete that part? I did. So I'm just going to copy it from here. Zip. Zip. Yes, I've called it the same, so there's no problem there. And I want to change it here to be RV data selected. So the reason I did this is because now I can change RV data selected somewhere else, and it will also update the table. Before I had the reactive values, it's gonna be harder to change the data because the reactive was the only thing that like said what the df was gonna be. So like this data was gonna be, right? So I'm gonna be saying. So now what I want to do is I choose like that. I still highlight this row and then I press here and it deletes the row, right? So let's do it like this. We will say, so how will I do that? Say like, okay, observe that I press something here, and if I have highlighted something, then and I press this button, then it will be removed. So actually, I'm just gonna be listening to this button and then seeing if any of these tables have been selected. Or selected, highlighted, sure. So I called the delete button input delete, I hope. Yes, I did. And then I say if input, is it input? Table rows selected. I think this is it. So this is like an added thing to data table. So what is it? Let's just look at the documentation. DD data table output. Maybe it says something about it here. So the data table it outputs, of course, the data table, but it also has some inputs built into it, and that's just telling you which row has been selected. Render data table. Render DT is also something we can use. Here's all the functions we can use. Does it tell me what it is called? It does probably somewhere. Maybe I'm just trying to skim it. Okay, let's see if it's table row selected. Okay, if, and then I want length of this to be more than 1. Is it? Oh, okay, maybe it is. I think it's like it's an NA or a not available number when it's when nothing has been selected. So I'm just gonna say if it isn't NA, then that means something is being selected, and then we delete the rows. Okay, so we go RV. We want to take our data that we have selected, whatever it might be, and we want to delete the row that it's been. And so fortunately for us, what is being highlighted here will follow these numbers, and these numbers are of course also the row number of the data that we use. So we can just say input table. So this first part is whatever we called our output over here, and then we say rows selected. That's another like added input output thing, if you understand what I mean. So we actually want to minus this. So we say minus this data. So minus whatever's been selected. And it should update by itself. The only thing that I think can go wrong now is either that this is called the wrong thing, or it isn't NA, or like this is not going to work because this if statement is going to break. So what I'm going to do is this is just for testing purposes. I'm just saying, whoops, cat this, okay? And I'm just going to paste this. I'm sure if cat this. Just to see if this is working. So this cat function here will just make it appear on my console when I press this delete button. So some debugging, right? Let's run it. And we got it here. Okay, moment of truth. I'm gonna delete row 1. It breaks. Let's see. Error in reactive values unused. So I know that I made a mistake at least. So this is a good thing about making that cat concat cat. Yeah, what I can't actually remember what it stands for. It just means that this didn't fire at all. Table rows selected. Table rows selected. So I have to Google a little bit. So I'm gonna say r shiny dt table row selected input. Maybe I'm gonna get something here. R selected row from data table in shiny app. Somebody had the same problem as me. Input table 1 rows selected. So this seems to be correct, I think. And so I'm not exactly sure if he has the same problem as me, but row select seems to be the correct thing at least. I'm actually gonna put the cat out here so I can get a bit more smart about this. And this is not really the best testing, but yeah, whatever. Okay, delete, break, that's good. What the? It doesn't even... Okay, so this is what is breaking it. Shit. Okay, that's the problem. It doesn't want to paste this because that's what's breaking it. Man, what the... Okay, do it a little bit more easy. Do this, just print the outputs. Can you do that for me? Then you're a really nice boy. Come on. Do it for me now. It gives me 4. And then it breaks. Alright, so it printed 4. So that's true. I did select the row 4, right? Yep. Alright, go to the edit R module. So this is the correct one. Okay, maybe it's just length. Length. The length of this is larger than 0. I think it should work, right? I mean, isn't this should be right, isn't it? Oh, and as well, we have to do another big mistake here. I also have to assign this, right? Oh, of course, I'm an idiot. This is the problem. I hadn't had... I did not have the selection correct. In my RV data reactive values, I wasn't going for I was just trying to change the whole reactive. Or actually, I was just trying to access the whole reactive. I wanted to access the data within the whole reactive values list. Dumb. Yeah, okay. Let's try this again. Maybe it will work now. Oh, god damn it. Top reactive values icon a list. What is going on here? Isn't this having to source this? Am I still doing something stupid here? Selected. Is now RV data selected. You should be a data point, right? You're what's getting red. Okay, I resourced this. I think this... Maybe it wasn't just sourced correctly right there. Oops. Yeah, okay, it works now. Alright, I can delete a whole bunch of data. Boom, 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 boom. It deletes it all. Do like this. Boom. How much data is in this thing? Yeah, okay, there we go. And then... Oh, so this is... Okay, it's probably not going to be changing it here, right? No, the whole data... Yeah, persists here, of course. Okay. So, well, we've made the first part. I think that we're going to stop there because this episode or part's getting really long. But at least now we can delete the rows, but we have to make it... so it also changes or deletes the rows in here permanently. So let's do that next time.